Hello and welcome to the Bureau Live, the first one for this year of the Tiger. Thank you for either joining me live or joining me after the fact on the Bureau YouTube channel. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the time that you give to watching some or all of this, hopefully all of it. I'll be going for perhaps about 45 minutes today. I won't be that long. I think 45 minutes is a pretty good time. Just let me know that you can hear me and see me okay. Give me a thumbs up or something like that, or leave it in the chat. So on today's Bureau Live, I'm here in Ho Chi Minh City, as usual, at my favorite spot, the Yellow Cafe. It's a great little spot, and on cue is the water truck. Usually it's the garbage truck that goes past about this time. It looks like they've got the water truck going by at 2:30. And I've got to say, it's a pretty hot, steamy day here in Saigon. I'm out here in District 7, and it almost has the feel of the lead up to an early wet season already, which is kind of crazy. I don't think it is, but there's a build-up of cloud cover. A typical 33 degrees as usual in Ho Chi Minh City. And that should be something that people should be thinking about now that it's been announced that international travel to Vietnam is, well, the government has said that they're going to open on March 15. Now, I just want to check volume and whether you can see me okay. I'm just going to check with Mel. She's my admin for today. She's just checking. She's going to let me know if everything is going okay. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. I've got a little bit of a problem here. Let me try this again. It says I'm live on StreamYard, but for some reason it says I'm not going live. Okay, just a moment. I'm just gonna end this one. Should I end it, Mel? Not sure if I'm gonna. If I end it, that'll be the end of the broadcast. Here we go. Just a moment. Okay, here we are. Here we are. I'm live now, I think. Let me know, Mel. I've got Mel. Mel, can you go to YouTube and just make sure that you can see me now? Refresh. Okay, cool. We're up. Okay, I just had a few little technical issues there. It's my first time using StreamYard Live, so please bear with me. So thank you for joining me. Let me do my introduction again. Welcome to the Bureau Live. I'm Matt. I'm the Bureau Chief, and thank you for joining me on the Bureau Live on Thursday. And I'm coming to you from a very hot and sunny and sultry Ho Chi Minh City in District 7. And on my way over here to Yellow Cafe, where I do my regular live stream here, it kind of looked like that we were going to experience an early wet season, which is kind of crazy. It's only the middle of February. We've just had Valentine's Day, of course. So it's a little bit early for that. Usually wet season starts to think about rolling around about end of April, May, I think, from memory. But the seasons have been a bit screwed up. Anyway, it's a typical 33 degrees and it feels quite hot. So, yeah, not really sure what's going on there. Something to think about if you're watching internationally, especially given that the Vietnamese government has decided to open up the gates for international travel from March 15. So if anybody out there who's watching this or watching later is thinking about coming to Vietnam, then yeah, get cracking, because it is probably the best time of year to travel, although March will start to get a little bit hotter than what it is now. Christmas, January, February, probably the best times of year weather-wise to travel in Vietnam. Now, I just want to check with Mel. Mel's helping me here today. Is the the camera working okay and the audio working okay? Let me know. And same with anybody watching. Please leave a comment in the comment box and hopefully it'll come through and I'll get to it. So, Mel, can you please comment in the public comment box for me, just so I don't have to switch back and forth through different spaces on this dashboard. Now, I just want to get into it. What's coming up on the live today? I'm just going to talk a little bit about the past few weeks at the Bureau. Of course, we had the Tet holiday, the Lunar New Year holiday, that went for around about a week or so, and that was a couple of weeks ago. After that, I want to talk a little bit about the latest stories in Vietnam, and I'll probably only have a little bit of time for one or two of those, but of course the big one coming out just yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, was that the government has decided to fling open the doors to international tourism on March 15. So I'm going to go through a little bit of that. Sorry, I'm just checking here. And I've got the garbage truck. They've just turned up right on the buzzer as well. So it means that I'm going pretty well. I'm on time. And those guys haven't stopped their schedule for the Year of the Tiger. Now, just going back to the top stories, the big one, of course, is international travel after 2 years, pretty much 2 years, maybe a little bit more. Vietnam has been pretty much closed down to travel like most countries around the world. So I'm just going to look at a few of those points there and we can discuss a little bit about that later on. And then finally, to wrap it up, tomorrow is the big Vietcetera conference, and on Saturday, what they call the Banh Mi Awards, and they are awards for best bars, restaurants, and hangout joints, and whatever else they've got on their list there. Just a thought, I'm just wondering whatever happened to Saigoneer's Golden Stool Award. I'm just putting that out there. If anyone knows what happened about that, perhaps the fact that it was called Golden Stool might have been a bit of a slip up. But anyway, it'd be interesting to find out whatever happened to that. Now, let's get into it. The past few weeks at the Bureau. Well, I guess I'll start with the first major one was that on February 1st, which was the first day of the holiday of Lunar New Year, I tested positive for COVID-19. I finally came down with it after a few days of symptoms, and those symptoms were a sort of a slight headache, a sort of an overall feeling of kind of like a mild hangover, somewhere between a mild hangover and a mild cold. Just general lethargy, a little bit lethargic, a bit listless, not too much different from normal. And the big thing for me was my knees started to ache, and my ankles as well. And that doesn't usually happen when I'm starting to come down with a flu. It's usually my back, actually, an old football injury, of course. But this time it was my knees and my ankles. So that was kind of weird. So, yeah, I tested positive on February 1st and spent the week at home, of course. and just isolated at home. There was nothing really open anyway. And I guess if you were ever going to get it, it was a good time to get it during the Tet holiday, I suppose. As I said, I just stayed inside, watched Netflix, did a fair bit of work, actually. I mean, that's the thing about my experience, was that I was still able to do some work, and I was also able to do a fair bit of housework, Mel. If you're watching, if you're listening to this, she got me doing the dishes. And just talking about Mel, of course, she lives with me, and she didn't, well, as far as we know, she didn't get any symptoms. She didn't get it. She tested every time that I tested, and she came back negative. So I think we're putting it down to a good dose of developing country genes, third world genes. Of course, she's from Manila, and I'm from Australia, which is super clean and hygienic and all that sort of stuff. And Mel's commenting here. She's saying she's a mutant. Yeah, something like that. But incredible, really, especially after the last couple of years that we've had, where there's been really sort of hysteria over the pandemic. And I came down with it. We lived together, Mel and I, and she didn't get it, although there was one particular day where she seemed like she was going to come down with it. And I was kind of like, yes, she's getting it. But she recovered very quickly, and that was it. So pretty amazing. So, yeah, don't know why she didn't get it. Now, I'm fine now. After about a week, I tested negative, and then I tested again the next day, and I was negative. And then because of Mel's work, I had to also go and test officially, which I did, and it came back negative. So I've had 3 negative tests in the last 10 days or 2 weeks or something like that. So, but yeah, there are a couple of things. I still don't feel 100%. I still have this sort of little smoker's cough here and there. So throughout this broadcast, you might hear me cough a little bit. And the big one for me is that I lost my taste. I lost my smell and taste. And after about nearly 2 weeks of being negative, I'm probably back, by my guesstimate, to about 20% being able to smell and taste. And the big thing for me is really taste. So at the moment, I've had to put any sort of videos about food on the back burner, any sort of content that I wanted to create for the Bureau Asia about food. I've had to put it on the back burner for now, and it's just a wait and see to see when all that comes back. But the good thing is, Mel is just commenting there. Did you do your, I'm not sure what this word is, olfactory training today? Yes, I did. So Mel's referring to the fairly strict regimen she's got me on of sniff training, I like to call it. And she's got me sniffing essential oils in a hope that it will trigger or fire the neurons or whatever's been damaged in my nose and send messages to my brain. It's a really weird feeling to not be able to smell or taste anything. And I've often found myself wondering, would I have preferred to have been hit harder by the virus, meaning having a much, much more intense illness, if it meant that I could smell and taste things? I don't really know at the moment, but it seems to be coming back. So that's a good sign. And judging by how quickly it's coming back, I would say in the next month or two, I'm hoping the next couple of months, I should be back to 100%. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the upside is I couldn't smell the garbage truck that just went past before. So, yeah, as I was saying, for the time being, I'm not going to be producing any food-related content at the moment, which is a bit disappointing. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, tomorrow is the Vietcetera conference, F&B conference for 2022. And they always put on a pretty good lunch spread. So I'm gonna eat it, but I doubt I'll be tasting what they've got on offer there. And what else? So in terms of content, it's going to be more sort of travel stuff, more barbershop experiences, which I'm pretty keen on. I really like to do those. In terms of reach and views, the barbershop experiences don't really gain that many, but it's just something I really like to do. And it's a great format for me to practice filming and talking to camera and working on the audio. So speaking of which, yesterday I filmed a new barbershop experience in District 8. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully this weekend I'll get around to editing that and putting that up online here on the Bureau Asia YouTube channel. And I just want to go to the chat. Is there any chat? There's probably a little bit less because today's the first time that I'm streaming through YouTube. So usually it's through Facebook. And in Vietnam, people typically view Facebook more readily than YouTube, especially during the day. They're at work, 2:30, 3 o'clock, most people at work. People who have a real job are at work. Anyway, yeah, so that will be the barbershop experience I had yesterday. It'll be up online hopefully this weekend. And guys, if you're looking for a place in and around District 8, and actually when I say District 8, it's not that far from the center of town. And if you want a little bit of a different experience in a different kind of barbershop, this could be the place for you. All will be revealed this weekend. Okay, cool. So the other thing I want to just mention briefly is that a good friend of Melanie and a friend of ours passed away just yesterday. Or yesterday, I think it was, the day before, Mel. Murray from Loriekot's Grill. She was a much loved and respected member of all of the communities that she was involved in Vietnam, particularly the Filipino community, as she's Filipino. And she and her family have made a massive impact to the lives of people living here, both Vietnamese and Filipino and all foreigners, including myself. So that's a piece of sad news that we've just come to learn just in the last 24 hours. And my deepest sympathies go out to the family and friends of Marie. She'll be missed greatly. Okay, so let's move on to the Bureau Live on YouTube. Now, here I am on YouTube today. I've decided to move over to YouTube. There are a number of reasons for it. It's really a one-stop shop for broadcasting, although I'm using StreamYard today, but StreamYard just seems to be a bit more, it has a few more functions that I can use, and the dashboard looks pretty good while I'm sitting here. And also the good thing about YouTube is, and Facebook, is that I can create a Facebook event in the Bureau Facebook group anyway. So anyone who follows the Facebook group, the Bureau Facebook group, will have noticed that I set up an event yesterday. So in effect, it's coming through the Bureau group in some way. Probably not going to get as much reach as usual, but hopefully over the weeks and months and hopefully years, we'll gain a bit more reach and traction. What else? Oh, yeah, I was going to say that the potential for me for this format, this live stream format, there's greater potential for me to reach a wider audience. I feel Facebook tends to be a little bit closed off, and I'm hoping to reach a wider audience around the world. So YouTube at the moment seems to be the better option for me. Although I've been having some really good success with the Facebook group recently, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. And what else? YouTube's benefit is that I think it can be more easily moderated. So I've got Mel here. Steve, I'm just going to go to the chat. Steve Black said the Facebook link didn't work. The Facebook link should take you through to YouTube. In this particular one, this is the free version of StreamYard that I'm using. You can't stream through multiple channels. You have to upgrade, and you have to purchase the pro version or whatever, which is like $30 a month or something like that, or $20 a month. So at the moment, it's not really worth me doing it. But the Facebook link should have taken you through to the YouTube channel, but I'll check that out later. Thanks for letting me know, Steve. All right, now, and what else about YouTube? I was talking about moderation. I can have Mel or someone else helping me moderate it. At the moment, it's not too bad. We don't have a lot of chat going on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's always good to know how the video is and how the audio is. But anyway, let me know if you've got plenty of experience in using YouTube and StreamYard to live stream. By all means, put your tips in the chat. Okay, so moving on. We've been going for nearly 20 minutes already. I just want to recap on Australia Day at Layla event. The Layla event, January 26th, so it was just before Tet. And I haven't had a chance really to recap on that. And just quickly, I want to go through the stats for the day because we did a fair bit of work on marketing the event. And of course, we did the live stream on location at Layla, and we had all those fantastic guests and sponsors as well. So it was really cool. And it kind of went off without a hitch, which was fantastic. That was our first real effort at doing a live stream on location. And of course, anyone who knows or anyone who's done a little bit of live streaming, you're at the mercy of the Wi-Fi, and Layla has a really good Wi-Fi. So that was a good start. And this place here, this is why I do it at this place. They seem to have a really good Wi-Fi. Now, for the whole event, the Bureau Asia and all the related content, we got 21,000 views, which was fantastic. All organic, of course, so no one paid for any of that. And the Bureau live posts, so any post related to the live event, we reached 8,000 people, which was fantastic. And keep in mind, our group only has 2,200 members. So for the Australia Day event, we're really batting above our weight, which was really, really impressive, actually. And I've got to give thanks to people like Jay Moore, who's always willing to share content, and Chris Thompson the same, and Melanie, and a few other of the guys who follow the Bureau as well, which is fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And just on sharing, it helps. It's super helpful. So if you like this stuff and you want other people to find out more about Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City and the region, and you happen to like me, make sure you share it for me. The live went off without a hitch. And actually, for the month of January, the Bureau group had an amazing 70,000 visits, which was awesome. So that's one of the better ones we've had in quite some time. And so it's worth me really to continue pushing with the Bureau group, with the Facebook group page. And I recommend anyone else out there who perhaps has a bar, restaurant, or you have some kind of lifestyle travel or F&B channel or travel channel or whatever it might be, really start to think about investing time into a Facebook group. It's starting to work pretty well for me in terms of reach. And I just want to say thank you again to the venue partner, Layla, the guys at Layla, Jay Moore, the Australian chocolate shop, which was awesome. They sent us a whole bunch of chocolates. Make sure if you're into Aussie chocolates. And I've noticed that they have a bunch of English chocolates there as well too. And what else? I've been getting the odd inquiry about doing either a live stream or a podcast on location at either bars or restaurants and places like that. To be honest, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, especially when you're moving off location or away from where I live. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of effort. There's a lot of preparation. And so I'm not really keen on changing my location yet, unless it's for a special occasion or if venues have some kind of budget for this. They need to show me the money in order to do it, because it takes so much time and so much effort. And also equipment as well. I've got a lot of equipment here that I'm using, and I have to pay for it and I have to update it, and I'm constantly doing stuff. So it costs me about $300 US dollars a year alone just to maintain my website, the actual platform, and then also the domain on top of that. Okay, so cool. Let's move on. I just want to go to the stream. Andy T, I'm assuming that's you, AT. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Steve Black, for joining as well. Just remember, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, make sure you drop them in the comment box. Be nice, though. Be polite. I don't want to get wiped off these channels. There's my smoker cough. Okay, now let's move on. I'm already 30 minutes in, and I don't want to stay on here for too long. International travel to Vietnam is opening up. It's the biggest news of the week, I think, even bigger than the NFL and bigger than the NFL halftime entertainment. I know, Steve Black, you're big into that. Let me know your thoughts about the halftime entertainment during the NFL match, if you're awake still, because it's pretty early here. I think it was about 7 in the morning or something like that. Now, I just want to go through some of the main points in case there are people who are going to watch this or who are watching this who are thinking about coming to Vietnam. So just to reiterate, the Vietnamese government has decided that they're going to open the gates to international travel on March 15. Now, I've got a few points here. This is from VN Express, and all the other newspapers around town are reporting pretty much the same thing. The government agreed on Wednesday to reopen inbound and outbound tourism from March 15 under new normal conditions. I don't really know what new normal conditions is. They don't really mention what that entails, but I've got a few more points here. They're going to reopen air, land, and sea borders. All travel restrictions imposed since 2020 will be lifted, except now there's a caveat to this here that if people didn't read the articles that came out in the last couple of days, they may have missed these couple of points. And one of them is that foreign travelers won't be able to travel wherever they want all over the country, which is interesting. And it may throw up a few little challenges to people like me who perhaps decide to go and travel to places other than the places that are listed here. Now, the first province, there are 7 localities where foreigners will be allowed to travel to. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you're coming over to Vietnam, you need to check that you are purchasing accommodation and flights, all that kind of thing, because it may turn out that you'll end up in country and you might not be able to travel to the place that you want to go to. And so let me list them. Can Hoa province, which is Nha Trang, Cam Ranh, Ninh Hoa. You're allowed to go there. Obviously a massive airport there and a big holiday town. So put that on the list. The other one is Kinh Giang province, which of course is Phu Quoc and Rac Giang. My good friend Petey Magic, his family are from Rac Giang, which is way down sort of southwest in the Mekong Delta. And Ha Tin, of course, that's where you can catch the ferry across to Phu Quoc. So that's open, and presumably the border will be open there as well. So you can duck over into Cambodia and along there to, I think it's Kep or Kampot, which is the first town along there, which is places that I really want to get to. I want to get on the motorbike soon and hit those places. The next place you're allowed to go to is Quảng Nam province, which is Da Nang, Hoi An. Of course, yeah, you'll be able to fly pretty much directly straight into Da Nang. Quang Ninh province, which is Ha Long Bay and Hai Phong, and Binh Dinh province, which is Quy Nhơn. So, and Ho Chi Minh City, and I think I mentioned Da Nang. The big one that's missing in these articles is Hanoi. At the moment, they don't really say that you can't fly into Hanoi, but from what I can gather at the moment, as it happens, that you will not be able to fly into Hanoi. But of course, double check, don't trust me fully, but I'm pretty certain. And at the moment, Hanoi has some fairly not strong, but they're still concerned about what's going on up there at the moment. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'll make sure that I put those provinces in the show description so that you can check those out if you're concerned about where you can actually travel to once you get into Vietnam. I just want to go to the chat. Steve Black, okay, good to see you having a beer and watching from Beercraft. Nice. Okay, I was talking before about how I'm reluctant to do a live stream anywhere else but here, but I tell you what, pretty keen to do one there. I wish I was there right now. You can also send me over a beer if you can. The half was the best in a few years that I've seen. Yeah, he's referring to the NFL halftime and halftime entertainment. Of course, it was pretty huge. I saw that, and yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it? I think it's safe to say it pipped Maroon 5. What else? And he's also said you can travel to Bangkok for skydiving for the weekend and come back to Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? It's pretty cool. I like how you use the code word skydiving, Steve. Replace that word with whatever you want. But yeah, it's great to know that we can duck over to Bangkok and have a night out or have something to eat or whatever and check the place out. And just to be honest, just have some different scenery for a change. As much as I love this place, sometimes you just want to get out, don't you? Now, I've just mentioned the places that you'll be allowed to travel to if you decide to come to Vietnam. Now, there are some conditions. The conditions are, there's no need to book a tour package, which is great. This is a bit of a tricky one. Tourists age 12 and above. So anyone from 12 and over needs to prove their vaccination status or that they've recovered from COVID-19. I don't have kids. I'm not too sure how people with kids feel about that. Let me know if you've got kids. How you feel about that. It seems that Vietnam is going through a real push at the moment to get kids vaccinated, and from as young as 5 years old as well. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know how I'd feel about that if I had kids. If you do, let me know what you think about that. Also, what else? This is really good too. You need to show negative rapid test within 24 hours after arrival at your accommodation. So that's pretty good. At least you're in country. And if you do a test and turn out positive, at least you're in your accommodation. And it looks like you won't be whisked off to a facility somewhere that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So that's pretty good if you're a budget traveler or a luxury traveler. It doesn't matter where it is. It looks like you can get to your accommodation. Make sure you do a test, and then 24. What does it say? basically 24 hours after that negative result, you're home and hosed and you can get out and about. Anyone with COVID symptoms, they're going to have to undergo a rapid test at the airport. But interestingly, nothing for travel, no information that I can find about travelers from sea. Now, I don't know too many people who actually travel here by sea, except on cruise ships. But by land, definitely, people are always crossing the border there with Cambodia. There's a couple, 2 or 3. There's at least 2 points that I know of: Chao Dok and Mok Bai, and then there's the one down in Ha Tien, I think. So, not sure about that. I can't give you any information about that. If you know, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Also, medical insurance. I mean, that should be a given anyway, whether if you're traveling, whether it's pandemic times or not, you really should have some kind of travel or health insurance. And they're saying that you should have coverage of at least $10,000 just in case you get hospitalized for COVID-19. Just interestingly, I just want to add that my insurance with Viet here in Vietnam, they don't cover me for COVID-19. And one of their reps said, look, it doesn't cost much anyway, but, you know, who knows? I don't know. But it says here that you need to make sure that you're covered to the tune of at least $10,000. And they're saying that some kind of policy like that will only cost you about $30. But of course, as we all know, different companies have different rates. So there you have it. Let's go to the chat. Steve, don't know what you're asking there. You said, can we? Sorry, I'm not too sure what you mean there. Let me know. Let me just check elsewhere. Not all of the chat is coming through. I don't think. But anyway, not too bad. All right, so we've been going for 36 minutes now. There's a few people in the chat. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget that I'm going to continue to do this every Thursday at the moment until 2:30, from 2:30 p.m. each Thursday. So if there are any topics you'd like to discuss or you've got any questions, make sure you let me know during the week or during the stream. Okay, so moving on. Moving on. I just wanted to finish off this topic of travel. I set up 2 polls over the past few weeks in the Facebook group, and I've got some good responses on those. So thank you very much to all the people who responded. The polls are quite effective in getting some good engagement. And the first one I created back in January 28, just a couple of days after the Australia Day event. And I asked members of the Facebook group, what date do you predict Vietnam will reopen its borders to allow in international tourists with few or no restrictions? And at this point, I must admit, I was only guessing, although I've been saying for 6 months that let's wait and see till Tet. Let's see how far the government's got with their vaccination program. Let's see how people pull up after Tet, and then I suspect the gates will open, and lo and behold. Anyway, the most popular date that was given by Rob Rankin over there in District 2. Thanks, Rob. Rob engages a little bit in the Facebook group. He reckoned May 1. He said that May 1 was going to be when the borders were going to open up with fewer little restrictions, and 17 other people agreed with him. Bad luck, guys. Better luck next time. The next most popular was March 1. I put March 1 up there, and 15 other people agreed with that. Sorry, guys, almost. And the next most popular was, in fact, the correct answer, which was March 15. I added that. That was really only purely guesswork. But yeah, as I said, I'd been saying for about 6 months that I thought around March, April, that we would likely open if things were going okay with vaccination numbers and the pandemic. And that turns out to be the case. And there were 5 other people who agreed on that, and I'll just call them out. Jenny Inchley, my mother's cousin, so that makes you my cousin or something like that. Fat Doll, Pat Cabrera from Qstream, Chris G over there in Moonay. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name very well, so I'm just going to stick with G. And Kieran McCann. Well done, guys. You got it. Bang, right on the button. March 15. Vietnam is going to open up its borders. I wish I had some T-shirts for you guys. I don't have any at the moment. I'm all out. But I'm still getting quite a few requests for this particular one, the black one with the white lettering. I've also got a black one with pink lettering, pretty much like how it says, the pink with the chief on there on the screen there, up in that corner there. And I can get white ones with black lettering and white ones with hot pink lettering, which look really cool as well. So let me know if you're up for a T-shirt. The only thing is they've gone up in price a little bit. I don't know what it is. I guess blame the pandemic or something like that. So all up, a T-shirt would probably cost around 500,000 at the moment because I have to pay taxes, printing, shipping, all that sort of thing. But they're 95% cotton, 5% spandex. They fling back into shape after you've been walking or after they've been washed and you've been walking around in them. They're really good. Just to give you an idea of size, I'm triple XL. So I don't know. I'm probably, the comments will come in. Little bit fatter than most, I suppose. But yeah, the triple XL is good for me. I'm about 90 kilograms, I guess. So anyone smaller than that, work your way down. Anyway, let me know. I'm also going to get some Ticket to Ride T-shirts done and hopefully some caps as well. So I'll get some of those done. Ticket to Ride's my other YouTube channel. So, yeah, if you're interested, pop over there and check out my channel there and subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff to help my channels grow. Let me go back to the chat, Steve. He's telling me don't count my chickens before they hatch. March 15 is still a month away. Yeah, good point. Bang on a month, pretty much. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen. Although I noticed in the news today that Hanoi seems to be thinking about opening up particular streets, or they've got a walking street up there and they're thinking about opening that up more to the public. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Keep your eye on it. Hopefully it'll open up. But I'm guessing also that it's not as if there's going to be a torrent of travelers coming through the gates. I imagine it'll be a lot of business travelers and regional travelers, perhaps for staycations. And as Steve said, pop over to places like Bangkok for the weekend or something like that. As long as the threat of being locked up isn't around anymore, there's nothing worse than thinking that you're going to travel and then be locked up in your hotel or something for ages. So, yeah, let's hope March 15 kicks it off. Okay. And then, okay, I did another poll just today, actually, the most recent one, and I asked people, once travel is open, you've got a family member or a friend who's dying to come to Vietnam to travel, you've been living here for a few years, and they want you to show them around all the sites and all the hidden gems around the city in Ho Chi Minh City. And I put that out on a poll, and I got some really good responses already. They're all pretty awesome. It was only 8 a.m. that I put it up this morning, so please keep them coming in. I'm going to revisit this next week. And Esther Walker, she suggested the AO show at the Opera House. Thank you, Esther, for that. And it's popular. It's already got at least 10 votes when I checked last. I haven't actually been to the AO show, but I hear it's brilliant. It's an awesome location. It's an awesome venue at the Opera House. It'd be worth going just for that. I really like that place. But yeah, the AO show, and I believe there's a website. I'm sure there's a Facebook page where you can get tickets. Chris G, again from Mune. He's probably on the beach as we speak. Thanks for contributing. He recommended a day trip to the Gucci tunnels and the Mekong Delta, booked with him. Now, that'd be something, wouldn't it? I wonder if he is actually going to be the tour guide as well. And I'm pretty certain if you book through him, he'll throw in a few Duvel or Duville bottles of beer, Belgian bottles of beer. I think they're Belgian, aren't they? I'm pretty certain he'll throw those in for you, which, come to think of it, Chris, let me send you my address. I wouldn't mind a few of those myself, just for giving you a bit of a shout out. Anyway, Chris's suggestion so far, it's had 10 votes, which is awesome. It is a really good idea. The Gucci tunnels, yeah, I've been to the tunnels in what's called the DMZ up there near Hue, and wasn't much of a fun experience for me. I'm not too keen on going underground. Dan Kings, thanks, Dan, again for contributing. You're always contributing. It's great. I really appreciate it. He suggested a food tour of all the city's hidden backstreet gems. That's a good one. Let's hope most of those little gems haven't closed down because of the pandemic. I've been walking around the streets a little bit lately. Perhaps that's where I picked up my strain of COVID-19 nearly a month back. It is pretty quiet, and there's a noticeable reduction in the amount of street vendors at the moment around the little alleyways and neighborhoods that I tend to go to. But I'm pretty certain they'll come back pretty quickly, especially once the tourist dollars start to flow. Hopefully they get back soon. But yeah, a little bit quiet, but it's a great suggestion. And I plan to do, just to let you know, I plan to do more content on these hidden gems around Ho Chi Minh City. There's literally hundreds, probably thousands of them. I've just got to wait for my taste to get back. Now, Greg Dixon, he's a great fan of the Bureau, and I hope you're well, Greg, and thank you for joining me at Layla on Australia Day. I'm sure you had a pretty good time. You got stuck into the beers there, especially with Steve. No doubt Steve is a bad influence to you. Anyway, he suggested a day trip to the Mekong River. And yeah, the Mekong River, awesome place. I'm not really sure exactly where you mean, Greg, which particular part of the Mekong River. But I tell you what, I can vouch for Gay Bear. It's a really nice little town on the Mekong River. They used to have a floating market there. I'm not too sure if they still have it these days, but it's a beautiful little town just outside of Kanta. And I recommend that. I need to get back there soon. And Charles Fajardo, thank you, Charles. Charles is a big fan of the Bureau as well. And he suggests a Jelon food tour at Chinatown, District 5, perhaps even District 6 and 11, I think Chinatown encompasses. And yeah, a food tour in Chinatown would be awesome. I could do with one of those right now. Make sure, everyone, if you've got any suggestions for me to go and suss out, try it out, do a video, do some content for it, let me know, okay? So, yeah, as I said, keep these suggestions coming. I'm going to revisit this again next week because some people are coming up with a whole lot of great suggestions for things to do in Ho Chi Minh City. And I think I'm going to put together a feature on thebureauasia.com from all of your suggestions. I think it'll be a useful piece of content for people traveling to the city. Now, I just want to wrap up this live stream today just quickly with a little bit of information about the Vietcetera F&B Conference and Bum Me Awards. The conference is tomorrow. It's on for most of the day. The Bun Me Awards are Saturday night by invite only, and I was lucky. Mal and I, actually, we both got an invite. So we'll go along there, have a few drinks, catch up with some people, and see who wins these awards. I just want to quickly share with you the topics for the conference because I think there's some interesting stuff in there. So I'm only doing it because I'm interested in it, and I'm thinking you might be interested in it as well. I have absolutely nothing to do with Vietcetera except that I'm going along to these events. So let me see if I can just share something with you, and I'll just talk my way through it, and let me know if you can see this. Okay, and so the Food and Beverage Conference is tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And hopefully you can see that okay. And these are the sessions. The first one is promoting cashless payments. MasterCard is the major sponsor. So obviously they're pretty keen for us to spend some money at our favorite bars and restaurants. The second one is Yosuke Masuko and Sanae Takasugi from Pizza 4Ps. They're the guys who started Pizza 4Ps, and they're going to talk about collaboration of service and technology in creating a seamless dine-in experience and loyal fan base. So I'm pretty keen to listen to what they've got to say. I was at the conference last year and I listened to them. They're very entertaining. Obviously, they've done amazing things with Pizza 4Ps and their sustainability. So they're really worth catching. Then there's another discussion, e-commerce's role in customers' diet trends and demand for F&B. This one might be a little bit harder to see. Sorry about that. Innovative communications to create wow factor and reach a wider consumer base. And that's Vincent Moru from Maru Chocolate. He's a great guy and someone who is really worth listening to. So I'm looking forward to listening to hear what he's got to say. And just quickly going through the rest, creativity in spaces and experiences, flavors relating to the rising trend of consumer wellness. They're the Aussie guys from Tribe Hospitality. Of course, that is Stoker, Firkin, who else? Relish and Sons. I think I've got them all. Stoker. Yeah, I think I said that. That'll be really interesting. And through on the list there's a lot of technical sort of stuff here in the conference. So that will be really interesting. Let me know if there's anything that interests you in these lists, and I'll ask some questions at the event tomorrow. If you've got any questions about those, or if you'd like more information about the topics, get in touch and I'll give you some more information, I guess, but look out for that. Now, Vietnam Restaurant and Bar Awards, they are on Saturday night. And this is probably one thing that I need your help with. The awards are listed here in the middle from 7:15 p.m. Now, if you've got places that you really want to recommend, I'd be happy to give them a shout out on the Bureau Asia channels. The first award is Brand to Watch. So obviously an upcoming brand in the F&B space in Ho Chi Minh City. There's an award for that. Neighborhood Hangout of the Year. So let me know if there's a neighborhood hangout in your neighborhood, a neighborhood hangout that should get more recognition. Let me know and I'll give it a shout out. Design of the Year, I'm assuming that's the space. Social Responsibility, Bartender of the Year, Chef of the Year, Bar of the Year, Restaurant of the Year. So they're all going to be announced on Saturday night. So please let me know if there are any places that you enjoy that fit into those categories, and I can go and check them out as well and give them a shout out on the Bureau channels. All right, cool. So that's it for today. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, I'm going to continue doing these on Thursdays, 2:30 p.m. Unless people think that I should do it at a different time. It seems to be a pretty good time for me. It's a good time for this cafe, and not necessarily a good time for people in Vietnam to watch live, probably, but at least this is going to be on the YouTube, the Bureau Asia YouTube channel for you to watch at a later date. So that's pretty cool. What else do I want to say? Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. As I said earlier, sharing really, really makes a difference. This is my passion. This is what I do. This is something that I hope to do further into the future and hopefully make a little bit of money out of it so I can continue to bring great content and continue with my passion and what I'm essentially trained to do. I have qualifications in writing and all that sort of stuff anyway. So this is what I do. I would really appreciate it if you can share it or give me a shout out at some stage through your channels. And that's about it. I want to thank the guys in the chat for not only taking the time to watch today, but also to chat, especially Steve Black. Thanks, man. You're a big fan of the channel and you're a great support. I really appreciate it. And even here, he says he has a new T-shirt place for me. So, yeah, thanks. I'll check that out. Thanks, AT, for checking in. And that is all for this week. Thank you very much. I'll see you next Thursday at 2:30 p.m. And I'll also see you in the Facebook, the Bureau Asia Facebook group. Hope to see you soon. Cheers.